If you think all salmon is basically the same, well, this episode might gently ruin that illusion for you. Because behind one simple pink fillet of MOWI salmon, there's a world of testing protocols, traceability audits, nutrition analysis, sustainability verification with one very serious question. Can this product actually perform in your kitchen and not just in a marketing photo? Today on Decoding Seafood by MOWI, we are pulling back the curtains on what really takes for a seafood brand to earn one of the most recognized consumer trust marks in America, the Good Housekeeping Seal. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Seafood isn't just a dish, it's a global story. The Decoding Seafood by MOWI podcast series explores the science, sustainability, and surprising truths behind the seafood you love, straight from the voices of those shaping the industry. From chefs, scientists, influencers, and insiders who live and breathe seafood and uncover what most of us never see. Hosted by Chef George Duran, you can find Decoding Seafood here on your favorite platform and at MOWI Salmon TV on YouTube.
Welcome back to Decoding Seafood by MOWI. I'm your host, George Duran. Today, we're chatting with someone who lives at the intersection of science, scrutiny, and real life. Stefani Sassos is the Associate Director of the Nutrition Lab at Good Housekeeping. Stephanie, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you have a lot of these letters in front of your name, MS, R&D, CDN.
Alphabet soup.
Who are you? What do you do? What is this all about?
Yeah, so I am a dietitian. I'm also a personal trainer, and I'm the nutrition director at Good Housekeeping. So what does that mean? I am not only keeping up with the latest in terms of nutrition research and trends and what people are talking about, right, in the healthy food space, but I'm also testing products, analyzing products, making sure that they're things that we can recommend to our readers. So it's a beautiful job. I'm very grateful for it. And it's something that I live and breathe. I mean, nutrition and fitness and wellness, it's my life, it's my passion. And that's why I'm able to show up to work every day, just genuinely enthusiastic to do what I do.
Yeah, when I think of the Good Housekeeping Seal, I usually think more solid objects and,
Yes.
you know, the vacuum cleaner and the appliances, but not necessarily food. Is this something new or has it been happening for a long time at Good Housekeeping?
Yeah, so there's certainly many different products that can get the Good Housekeeping Seal. Food has been one. Actually, one of our longest seal holders was a food brand, Jolly Time Popcorn, for over 100 years. So, you know, food, there's all different sort of credentials, right, that can meet the seal. So in each sort of aspect of a product, we have different experts looking at that product, evaluating that product. That's what I think makes the seal so special, is that we're going to bring that same level of scrutiny regardless of what the product is for whatever the industry might be.
So if someone like Acme came in with their celery roots and they said, I want the seal on this. I want you to, is it that you take and you compare it to all the other celery roots out there? Or are you just looking at that one product and saying, this is good enough for our consumers or for our label, let's put the stamp on it?
It's a great question. We definitely are doing comparison, right? Because we want to make sure that we're, you know, only awarding things that are best in class for the Good Housekeeping Seal, right? And then we're also looking at the product itself. And, you know, what is the product promising the consumer? That's really the question behind the Good Housekeeping Seal. And that transparency, right? That trust with the consumer, making sure it not only performs as promised, but something that we can really stand behind. I mean, we're standing behind these products with a limited warranty. There's not really any other brand that can say that.
Wait, I'm sorry, what do you mean limited warranty?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
There is a limited warranty behind the Good Housekeeping Seal, which means that if the product is defective or whatever it might be within a certain time period, Good Housekeeping will back it by a warranty, which is pretty cool. So that even applies to the food products as well. So that's how much we believe in the product. And that's why we place such an intense process and evaluation and emphasis on this, because we're not just giving it out freely, right? Not every product that applies for the seal earns it. In fact, many do not because they don't meet our standards.
And what percentage is that?
That's a good question. I'd have to get you an exact number.
Just about, like, how often do you come across a product, even on the nutrition level, that you're just like, no way, we're not giving the label to this?
Well, just alone today, 2 products that came across my desk that I said are not eligible.
You're kidding.
Just based on first glance at the claims.
And do these brands pay you to submit it? And then they say, please give us this stamp. And then you can easily see like, sorry, no, like that's it.
Well, it has to go through an evaluation process to even be considered, right? And so when we're looking at it, when we're evaluating the product at first glance, if there's certain claims that to us seem really egregious, right? Of course, we'll ask the brand to provide documentation, but there's some things that we just can't get behind, right? Especially things with really faulty promises. So it is an important part of the whole process.
Yeah, let's go into the salmon aspect. And MOWI Salmon has the Good Housekeeping Seal with some of their salmon, Atlantic salmon. When did this start? I mean, this is year 2 or 3? How is that?
I was about to say probably around at least 2 years now, maybe 3 years at this point. And what impressed me when it came across, to my desk. Listen, of course, I'm a big seafood person. I mentioned to you before this, I'm Greek. So Mediterranean cuisine is like seafood's a cornerstone of it, right? And as a dietitian too, I mean, just the fact that salmon in particular provides so many unique nutrients that we can't get from other foods. So vitamin D, choline, like people don't think about these things, but those are really hard to get in other foods. I mean, we can go into a whole thing about nutrition science and why most people need these nutrients in food form. So to me, I was excited to see salmon, right, to be eligible for the seal because of course it's a nutrient powerhouse. But, then we're talking about, okay, this is a perishable protein. So there are so many quality control steps that have to be in place for us to have confidence in it, right? Also different claims, like, one claim, for instance, that's on the packaging, fresh, never frozen. And that was something that I think most people might just say, oh, okay, they'll just trust it sort of at face value. But we dig deeper. Like we need to see the whole process.
Wait, what do you mean? Are you going to the processing facilities, the farms? You're checking the entire step out of the way of, is this truly fresh and never frozen?
Sure.
And then you're going to the supermarket and saying, let's pull this out and see if indeed the MOWI salmon is always fresh, not frozen. You're actually doing all those steps.
So it depends on the brand, depends on what they have in their standards, right? So MOWI was really transparent from the start, right? Had all that documentation provided. So then there's like less investigation that we have to do, right? If you come buttoned up, if you come with all of those credentials and all those standards in place, that makes my job easier, right? So just even being able to see the documentation from the beginning to the end and how that process works, right? And for me, especially as a consumer of seafood, like that does make a difference, right? Frozen food in general can of course be very nutritious, but it does impact, I mean, you're a chef, you know this, it impacts the quality, the performance of it, right? So for me, like when we're buying fish, I prefer to buy fresh. It makes a difference. And I think that's what people want to know. Most people also don't know that seafood specifically in the grocery store is oftentimes frozen and then defrosted, and that's what you're purchasing. And you'll see a little tiny asterisk that might say previously frozen, right? Well, you think you're buying something fresh and it's not. That also can happen with other foods, not just salmon, even produce, right? I remember looking at like a bad batch of red onions one time and finding out, no, it was frozen and now it's defrosted. Yes. So that's the unique part of my role, is being able to investigate things like that, right? And with fish, it does matter. I mean, it impacts the texture, the flavor. You know this probably better than anybody.
Yeah, and there's obviously a prestige in having that Good Housekeeping Seal. Since I was a young kid, and I'm not necessarily very young, what's happening now in today's generation, and how are you actually almost teaching the new generation of shoppers, of buyers, of consumers, this seal indeed is prestigious?
Yeah. So I think this generation of consumers, even before 10, 20, 30 years ago, today specifically, because of social media, because of, people sort of asking more questions, right? Like I always say, even me as a parent of 2 young little ones, right? Like before I became a dietitian, before any of that, like really turning around, looking at the nutrition facts, looking at the label, people are asking more questions, right? And that's really everyone today. We want to be more informed consumers. So that's really what the seal represents, right? It's a level of transparency that, again, no other brand is doing this, right? Backing this by, not only our word, also the warranty, like putting our money where our mouth is, right? So that's huge. And really starting to tout this more on social media and sharing that, right, with other people, other consumers. And like you said, it's not just dishwashers, it's not just cleaning products, it's also food products, it's also bedding. There's so many different things that can qualify, but again, you have to meet our standards in all those individual departments and get through the scrutiny of all the different scientists we have in the Institute. And one thing I'll mention that you alluded to being to our offices, right? So when you come to the Good Housekeeping Institute, My husband calls it like the Willy Wonka factory. It's just
It is.
incredible.
Yeah.
And each lab has in their respective labs experts in the fields. I mean, we're talking people. I mean, I studied nutrition for literally a decade. Okay. I have my master's in nutrition, all my advanced credentials. Like, this is what I live and breathe. And so when we're looking at this, it's not just me looking at it either. We have our culinary team, right? Our food scientists. We have a whole team looking at this to make sure, okay, it doesn't just taste good, right? It's going to have the nutrition claims accurate, the sustainability claims supported, right? The fact that it's going to perform as promised, that all the information on that label, you could just not taking it as face value, it's actually going to do that. So
Yeah,
those are
one of the
huge.
things that I noticed when I came to visit many years ago in your
Yeah.
office was the transparency. Literally, I mean, the walls are all glass, and you walk through it, and you can literally see what they're testing today and tomorrow. And I think they were doing vacuums that day because there was about 10 vacuums in there,
Yeah.
and it was amazing to see that. I think one of the key words that I would say as a consumer myself that I'm always struggling with is trust. Who do I trust to tell me the right things to buy or what's written on the package itself? Because anyone can just write, fresh, farm, this. And how do I know that I trust that? It's easy to print those. But someone like Good Housekeeping can actually verify that. And knowing that that label is there gives you the authority to say, you're fine. It's almost like, a child and the mother's like, you can have that. That's fine for you.
Yeah.
We'll be back after this break.
MOWI Salmon comes ready to cook, ready to grill, ready to season, or pre-seasoned, and ready to eat. And an assortment of flavors for an assortment of people. MOWI Salmon.
And I have to tell you, in this role, some of the claims I've seen and just how inaccurate they have been in other products have been astounding. It's scary, especially if we start to talk about things like supplements and all the other different industries, right? But it is important, and the trust is important, and that's the cornerstone of Good Housekeeping.
Yeah.
Like, there's integrity behind the seal. And I mean, I work with literally the most incredible experts in every aspect of the different fields that we cover, right? And even with our content, I mean, to put something on our website and to stand behind it, I mean, it's not just something that we saw a couple good reviews on, right?
Yeah.
We're getting hands-on with these products, right? We're trying them out. We're testing them out. We're not just trying them once either, right? Even like you said with the salmon, okay, we're going to get samples provided. We're going to also go out and buy the salmon ourselves and make sure that it's going to perform as promised, right? So there's so many different avenues of that. And that for me has always been like my North Star as a dietitian, just making sure that evidence-based nutrition information, I can spread that to as many people as possible.
Did you eat enough salmon on that week that you tested MOWI Salmon? Or did you have
Oh my
enough?
gosh, yes. And so did my husband. And so did my kids,
Yeah,
which was wonderful because
Yeah.
it's so hard to get them to eat fish, and they loved it. And, we tested in the lab, but we also bring it home.
Yeah, of course.
And that was one thing genuinely that surprised me, was just how good it tasted and how easy it was to prepare.
Yeah.
Because as a dietitian, I've seen many clients. I used to work in private practice, worked in a hospital, and getting people to eat fish means probably one of the most nutritious foods out there, right? But there's barriers to it, right? In terms of the preparation, people don't know how to prepare it. And that's why I really loved all the varieties that MOWI, right, makes and that has the seal, because, okay, you want just a plain filet, you can do that. You want something pre-seasoned, you can do that. You want something on a cedar plank, you have that. Like, there's so many different avenues to make it accessible to the consumer. And the fact that it's got such a rich, buttery texture to it and like nice flavor. It's not overly fishy, all the things, right? Even the way it's packaged. Like, there were so many positives to it that for me, I feel takes away that barrier and in turn makes people be able to eat more of this nutritious food.
Yeah, I presume you don't publish a list of the ones that have failed, right? So we can kind of be like, oh, wait a minute, they didn't pass that test.
No.
Because that would
But
be helpful too. Just want to know,
No, absolutely. That's a good point. And listen, sometimes we'll do investigations into certain things. We will, and we'll get into the nitty gritty of those things.
Yeah.
So whether it's supplements, whether it's food, whether it's label claims, there's a famous example of back in the day, a very popular snack brand that the nutrition director at the time had tried it and had said, this tastes really way too good to only have 2.5 grams of fat.
Yes, I do that a lot. That always happens to me.
And we tried it. We tested it in the lab. ended up having 8.5 grams.
That's insane that people are trying to get away with this murder. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And we worked with the brand to reformulate down to 5.
Okay.
So that's, I think, like a great way of Good Housekeeping working with the industry.
And why
Like,
are these brands who are kind of cheating a little bit, or I don't know, do they genuinely not know? Did they use the wrong lab? Are they just like not very bright companies or are they trying to get away with this?
I think you see a mixed bag. I think that a lot of people don't understand the quality control that goes into food, right? And even just today, I met a founder of a brand that's making clear protein. This is all the rage right now, right? And I'm asking those quality control steps, right? And she has all these people in place, right? A food scientist, regulatory, all this stuff. Like, and this is a new company, but I think a lot of people that are starting out, right, and starting out a brand new brand, they might grow faster than they intended because of the social media viral buzz that can happen today. And they don't have everything else in place, right? And so you're growing and trying to get the demand out, but you don't have that quality control. It's going to catch up with you.
Yeah.
So that's important.
Yeah, let's talk about sustainability, traceability, all these things that make our planet better, but also the food quality better. And with MOWI, sustainability is a big topic because they're known for this. How are you testing the sustainability claims, but also kind of figuring out what is really the true balance of sustainability? I mean, there's only so much you can produce in this world that's not going to affect, our world itself and the ecosystem. But what are your standards and how are you tracing the sustainability claims?
Yeah, so sustainability, especially in seafood, is very tricky, right? Because it's sort of a mixed bag, especially all the different types of seafood. And then you have, fish farmed, so many differences there, right? And what was impressive to me about MOWI is that they led with that, right? So they led with, okay, we have all these sustainability certifications. And by the way, not every single sustainability certification is considered the same, right? So there's certain ones we look for, especially with farmed fish, right? So MOWI has BAP, ASC, there's all these different things. And we're looking at all those credentials, right? Also all the documentation, that's really what sustainability is digging into that and making sure that, okay, you're reaching those sustainability quality control standards, right? Is that sacrificing other things, right? Is that sacrificing the nutrition? Is that sacrificing the packaging? All these different things, right? So it's a hard blend to get those all to kind of be in sync and align. But MOWI does a great job of that. And that was really also, I think, the question for me coming into the application. And I think the question for consumers, right, is what is sustainable seafood, right? Like, is this going to meet those standards? And it was great that just MOWI from the beginning was so transparent with that. And again, that made my life easier. That made our job easier. And to have that confidence, because most brands are not transparent like that, right? Or they might, sort of push back on the question or not give you the details. And then we have to really push further. And we've had many brands that we've gone back and said, well, if you want to get the Good Housekeeping Seal, you have to change this on your packaging.
Yeah, and consistency must be a thing as well,
Oh,
right?
huge.
So wait, when you get that seal approved, is it just last 1 year? Is that what it is?
It's 1 year, and then you can renew, in which we go through a whole renewal application.
All over again. You
yeah.
have to actually test it all over again because if they had tweaked the recipe, obviously with salmon, you don't tweak a recipe, but
Right.
If anything changes, you need to be on top of it and make sure that, are there people out there, investigators, checking if people are still kind of using that stamp when they didn't have it renewed?
Oh yeah, there's definitely a whole quality control team that oversees the seal, but really what we're looking for in the renewal is, not just have we had any, internal complaints, which I'm proud to say any of the food seal products, I mean, we rarely get an internal complaint because I think that's a testament to the fact that we are looking so deep into these products to make sure that we're confident about them, right? But also looking at like return rates, or is there something we can work with the brand to improve, right? Maybe it was something on the packaging that was a little difficult to open or whatever it might be, right? So really making sure that every single year, looking at all those things again, as well as anything new, as well as any expired certifications, because things can expire and brands can continue to say that. We have to make sure that those are all buttoned up. So again, it's like front to back, website, all the things. That's what we're really looking at for just a comprehensive view.
That strictness really leads to really quality control on your end.
Yeah.
Allowing someone like MOWI to say, look, we're proud of not just being transparent with all our sustainability claims, quality claims, but here's a third party who has come and verified all these claims. And it's right there in the package. You can't beat that necessarily.
Yeah.
Any big surprises that you've come through, good or bad, throughout your stint at Good Housekeeping?
Oh my
Anything that has kind of like looked and you said, like, I cannot believe they're claiming this, or the other way around, like, this is better than we anticipated?
Yeah, well, I mean, just even today, a product I saw that was claiming crazy weight loss claims and detox claims. And that just to me, it just rubs me the wrong way, because you're leading with that, then I'm looking at the product and I'm saying to myself, this isn't going to deliver those results, right? So there still is that marketing that we thought, right, from way back in the day, that was during that like low fat era. And so that's, of course, interesting. And any pleasant surprises? Well, I mean, MOWI was, of course, a pleasant surprise for us with the Good Housekeeping Seal, just in terms of the quality standards, right? And just how easy it was to, like, I remember first trying it and being like, wow, this is actually delicious. It's got the texture. It's got all those key players, right? And another thing that I work on every year is our Good Housekeeping Snack Awards. And so that's super fun. Right now, we are evaluating over 500 products for the Snack Awards.
What?
You should see our office. You should see my house. It's unbelievable.
So wait, what is a snack compared to what you do usually with putting the label? You're just randomly grabbing 500 popular snacks.
So snacks can apply.
Yeah.
And we are looking for the best of the best in terms of nutrition and taste for snack products specifically.
Yeah.
And so we have a whole bars category, chips, things like that. And honestly, for me, it's like my Super Bowl, because I get to see what are all the new, latest and greatest snacks on the shelf right now. What are they promising to consumers, but also, you know, how are these things going to enable us to make healthier choices?
Yeah.
So my favorite part of it, believe it or not, is always seeing the unique produce that applies every year, all the different produce varieties. Last night, we just tried a pink pineapple. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's really nice to see just the innovation that's coming out, and to, you know, stay on top of those trends and to be supporting good trends, right? Good things that we want consumers to be following.
Cooking great salmon, that's easy. But finding salmon that's consistently great, it can be challenging. Until now. Because now you can order MOWI Salmon online from Amazon Fresh. MOWI's fresh, sustainable, high-quality salmon is available to more people than ever before. And that means a healthy, affordable, quality dinner is just one click away. Because the only thing better than great salmon is great salmon delivered. Salmon is good. MOWI is goodness.
If you want to tell a consumer, an average consumer, something special about the MOWI salmon, what would you tell them?
Well, I think one thing that's important to note is that color doesn't always indicate freshness, right? Especially with seafood. So that's one thing that we were looking at specifically, right? And the freshness of the product, that it's not frozen, is really what stood out. I mean, such high quality, of course, with the taste, the texture, the plumpness of it, but also looking at, again, the sustainability claims and the fact that there is this sort of like synergy of nutrition and sustainability and performance in the kitchen, right? Because that's really what matters ultimately. And that's how you're going to see a good quality fish is it going to cook up well? How does it taste? What's the flake look like? The whole culinary performance of it. So that's key too.
What is the biggest misnomer about farm-raised salmon, particularly MOWI's farm-raised salmon?
Yeah, I think that people might think it's not necessarily healthy, right? Or maybe that it's not necessarily sustainable. But the interesting thing about farm-raised salmon, specifically MOWI's farm-raised salmon, is that they are controlling this from beginning to end, and they are making sure that the feed is going to replicate very closely, right, what a fish would get out in nature. So that's really key. The fact that it's sort of this closed system and that quality control standards from the beginning to the end can be so precise.
Yeah, and that's true for a lot of food products, in the sense, like, if the chicken's running wild and you don't know where it's been and it comes back, and then versus something that has been actually in a controlled environment and you can kind of control what it's eating and not getting parasites and so on.
Yeah.
The quality of the salmon in this case, and they're swimming in the sea. They're actually swimming in giant, massive pens in the cold waters. And you can control it from beginning to end. You can see the quality there. And it's funny, people just sometimes they just don't understand that farm-raised salmon, particularly sustainably raised, properly raised, is better than anything else you can get out there, not just nutritionally, but also obviously sustainably, flavor-wise as well. And that's important.
But that's really exactly what you said, making sure it's raised properly, right, in those conditions. And that's where I think MOWI sets itself apart, right, is the fact that there are quality control standards in place that are differentiating it from other farm-raised salmon. And that's what's cool about it, you know?
How are you cooking salmon for me tonight? Let's talk that.
My
I come over, your family's there. Hey, George is here. How are you cooking salmon?
So lately what I've been doing is true Greek style, oregano, lemon. I'll throw a little mint on there too, like good quality olive oil. I'm very simple when it comes down to it. And I am such a big believer in the power of citrus and citrus on fresh fish. So also cutting back the salt, because obviously I'm a dietitian. So cutting back some of that salt seasoning and adding in that beautiful citrus can be key. And probably with a beautiful rice pilaf and a prassini salad, which is my favorite Greek salad. And so it's got the romaine, the dill, the feta, the lemon. Oh, divine. So that's probably the dinner I would cook you for tonight.
Yeah. So what time did you say? I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you what I have in my fridge right now. Like, no joke, you went to my fridge. I found a bag of frozen pesto from my summer because I grow basil and tomatoes. So I had a bag of frozen pesto that I saved from summer. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. And I had, of course, some MOWI salmon filet. Yesterday, I rubbed a thick layer of that pesto on top. And today it's dry aging, so to speak. It's drying and almost forming like a pesto crust on top. And that's going directly into the air fryer or probably a convection oven for tonight's dinner.
I love that.
So there's almost no wrong way to cook salmon, especially if it's quality salmon.
That's so true. Absolutely.
But I'm still going to your place.
Yes, 1,000%. Happy to have you.
Is MOWI the only salmon you've tested?
We've tested other salmon in the past, but not from a specific salmon distributor, right? From different brands that might have salmon in their lineup. And I have to say, in terms of quality, this has far surpassed anything we've ever tried. And that's why it's earned the Good Housekeeping Seal, right? The quality is there and a true testament to not only the quality control, but also the standards they have set in place.
And I'm hearing that duck trap is next?
Duck trap is currently in the process of being evaluated for the seal. So we're excited. We're trying it now. And I mean, so far, so good. We'll see, but we're looking forward to it.
And when duck trap smoked salmon comes to your offices, you're going to call me. Yes, I have a ton in my fridge still, but I'm still going to come over so I can help you test it out.
I love it. No, it's we're excited to try it because obviously it's going to be an interesting test. And there's so many different types. We just got the hot honey one and, of course, the lightly smoked. So there's all different varieties.
Yum.
Yeah.
I'll bring the bagels.
Yes.
Where can people find out more about some of the waiting snacks and also the list of Good Housekeeping seals? Where can people find that out?
Yeah, that stuff is available on goodhousekeeping.com. There's a whole portion of the site dedicated to the seal. And now we also have pages on the site where you can learn about each respective lab. So I work in the nutrition and fitness lab. You can go read all about that. We also have our cleaning lab, our textiles lab, all that information. And the snack awards are going to come out in June. So you'll be able to see that. And it's a great list. It's great for all ages, adults, kids.
Is it like an award ceremony at an auditorium? And
honestly, this year we're going to be doing a little bit of an event around it, which will be fun. Oh, yes. But it is a beautiful digital package and we have a feature in print and we're very fortunate to be able to promote it on some of the big broadcast networks. They're always interested in it too. Because it's just fun. People just love healthy snacks.
Yeah, that's just amazing. I want to first tell you that you call me when you're leaving your job so I can take over because this truly sounds like the best job, maybe after mine.
It's amazing.
Of course. And then you also call me when you're going to start testing French butter. Like I will be there and for free we'll work and whatever you need me to do to taste it and take it home with me.
You're making me laugh. They just tested butter crocks. You would have loved to have been there for that.
Yeah. Wait, the butter crocks are the thing that you put the butter in?
Yes.
What? You even test that? That's so random.
It was I've never used one. Yeah. So now I have one. Now I'm using one. And now you just want to eat butter all the time
Yeah.
because it's sitting right there and it's perfectly soft.
Yeah, is it in the water thing also?
Yes.
Do you have that too?
Yeah, they
I
tried every different type.
Never understood the water thing. I mean, I understand it. I tried it and it just comes out like wet butter. So I'm going to pass
So
on
funny.
that. But we're a huge butter consumer in addition to salmon, of course.
Yeah.
Those are our big fats in our home and we're very happy with it. I am happy that you've come to visit us, Stephanie. Thank you so much. What an insight on what the Good Housekeeping Seal truly means. Not easy to get it, but when you do, the folks at MOWI must be proud.
Absolutely. And it's an amazing partnership. I'm such a personal fan, obviously, of the product. And it's something that is so easy for us to naturally recommend to our readers, just because, of course, it's a full nutritional package. It performs as promised. Really awesome all around.
Fantastic. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And folks, if you like this show and you want to see more of MOWI Salmon, go check out their YouTube channel at MOWI Salmon TV. That's youtube.com/MOWI Salmon TV. I'm your host, George Duran. See you next time.